Today we're gonna be talking about disc golf shoes. We're gonna talk about price, we're gonna talk about if they're waterproof or not, comfort, and then some other random things. Let me introduce you to the lineup. We got the Vans Neo Ultra Range VR3. These are my all-time favorites, guys. I've gone through a ton of pairs of these in the last couple years. These are a shoe that I get asked about a lot in videos. Another pair of Vans here that I absolutely love is just your classic Vans slip-ons, but these specifically are the wide version. A little more toe room. Up next, we got the Air House, I don't know. These are basically knockoff Vivos from Amazon. The price point on these honestly can't be matched. And then we got three different styles of Vessi here. We got the Weekender shoe, which is like a slip-on casual sneaker. I actually really like these. We got the Pacifics, which are honestly like your closest comparison to kind of an ultra range from Vans. And then we got the Stormburst Highs, a shoe a lot of you guys are familiar with, or at least have seen. 6 shoes that I've worn a decent bit throughout this last season. The Vessis have kind of been late to the party, but I've put them to the test, I guess, in the last couple of months, and I figured it was time to finally bring you guys this video. Disc golf shoes. Most of them are ugly as f***. These ones I feel like all look decent. Let's talk about it. I got weird feet too, so I'm kind of picky, so I feel like this is like a decently honest review. I'm gonna go ahead and start with the shoe that I wear the least, but when you need them, they're good to have, and the price point on these bad girls cannot be beat. $38 on Amazon for a barefoot shoe that doesn't look super geeky. A lot of barefoot shoes look absolutely horrible. Vivos, some of them look good, some of them look bad. I've honestly never worn them because I'm not willing to spend like $70 on a shoe that I might not like. I think they look pretty solid, and for that price point, you simply cannot beat them. If you're a fan of barefoot shoes and you've never shopped on Amazon, go take a look. A lot of them are super ugly. If that's something you don't care about, you might find some gems. These, I feel like, look decent. They kind of look like almost like a Metcon, and they get the job done when you want that barefoot feel. Some people are gonna be like, how the hell do you wear slip-on Vans? And then some people are gonna be like, yeah, man, I play every round I've ever played of disc golf in, you know, slip-on Vans, Van Classics, whatever. Pretty much a barefoot shoe that actually looks cool. Some disc golfers do not care how they look, and that's totally cool. You probably have so many more options for shoes or clothing or whatever. Look good, you feel good, you play good. Vans slip-on wide specifically. Unfortunately, these things are not really available in store. I've only found them one time in an actual Vans store. So you do gotta buy them online, but if you know your size, it's not really a problem. And they come in at just $55. Some people might be like, Rod, I need some ankle support. I need more like tread, foot support. I don't know. Then these shoes are not for you. But if you're a person who doesn't love like the tread of like a trail shoe, and you like the barefoot feel, a little wider toe box, and kind of just like feeling the ground underneath you, and you've never tried disc golfing in a flat pair of Vans or in a slip-on pair of Vans, give these a go. They're the perfect like summertime disc golf shoe if you play a lot of park style disc golf. Up next, guys, I want to talk about the Weekender shoe. This is another kind of casual, I'll call it like a park style disc golf shoe for me. I got sent all of these Vessis. I did not pay for them. Vessis all kind of come in right around $150, give or take, depending on the style, which for some people is like, that's kind of just what shoes cost nowadays, but for some people, they're not about to spend that much on a disc golf shoe. But I'm gonna talk to you guys about what I like about these shoes today and what I don't like about them, because there's a lot of good and definitely some bad in my opinion. They're very comfortable. This is one of the most comfortable shoes I've ever worn. It's kind of like an Air Force One, if you've ever worn one of those, but then make it waterproof. These shoes are kind of similar to the slip-on Vans in terms of stability. They're not your most stable shoe. That's why I call them like a park style shoe. They keep your feet dry. Like if you're an early morning park style guy, this is a great shoe because your socks aren't gonna get wet. And they're extremely comfortable. I actually started wearing these a little more like casually, just out and about. I wore them to a music festival where it was supposed to get rainy, and they're good. They look pretty solid. I kind of like them when they get a little bit dirtier, not like that fresh new look. But the Weekender shoe, I really enjoy. Up next, we're gonna talk about the Pacifics. This is a shoe that I wanted to love. I asked for these because when I saw them, I was like, okay, they look kind of like a similar build to these Vans. I got them, I was excited, I put them on. They're your classic Vessi, they're super waterproof. If you're not familiar with Vessis, the thing that makes them so waterproof is they're all like single lined. So it's almost like a wetsuit for your foot. Your socks will not be getting wet unless you know, fully submerge them in the water and they get over the edge, but obviously. My feet are kind of picky. They're weird. I have like a high, not like a high arch, but like the bone on the top of my foot is high and my feet are kind of wide at the like toe knuckle, I guess you'd call it. And just the way these shoes fit my feet, a lot of times when I'm playing 18 holes in them, halfway through the round, my feet were just uncomfortable and I could never really get over how they felt. But if you're the type of person who doesn't have the pickiest feet and you can kind of just get away with like any shoe, these are actually a great option for if you like a Vans Ultra Rain style shoe, but you want them to be extremely waterproof. We're gonna talk about both of these shoes kind of at the same time because right now these two are my favorite disc golf shoes. Now, the Stormburst highs, I've enjoyed. They are a little bit more comfortable than I honestly was expecting just based on looking at the toe. They're not extremely narrow like a lot of Nike shoes are nowadays where it almost comes to like a point. But the Vans, although not a wide foot shoe, they feel like they are. For some reason, the way my feet fit in these, I feel like I have adequate toe space and I really enjoy that. If it's dry out, beautiful summer day, this is what I will be wearing. But if it's raining, if it's, you know, muddy, anything like that, the Vessi high top Stormbursts, they're a great shoe to have. I played disc golf for 24 hours a few weeks ago, and for the first 11 hours of that adventure, the grass was completely soaking wet. It had rained all the day before. I wore these for 11 hours straight and my feet were dry the entire time. Vessi waterproofing, there's no question it's the best waterproofing I think that you'll probably find, and that's super cool. The thing that I don't necessarily like about the Vessis is I feel like there's a little too much cushion on the bottom of the shoe. Nowadays with shoes, so many people are into like the Hokas, kind of like the running shoes with the crazy soles on them, but those are just not good for disc golf. They're too squishy. There's too much between you and the ground to really feel like you have a stable foundation to throw on. And I find my feet kind of rolling over the edge of the Vessis a lot, where I can kind of feel the sole like squish under these. And honestly, that's something that I was hesitant to even try Vessis because of. I saw plenty of videos of pros wearing them and you can tell they throw and their feet are kind of rolling over in the shoe. But for the most part, it's a solid shoe. So much variety in the Ultra Range lineup from Vans. There's tons of options. The reason that I've found to like these is they have a little bit more tread than your just traditional Ultra Ranges. That said, the tread does kind of wear down fast. If you're a person who plays, you know, multiple times a week on cement tee pads, and especially if you're a foot dragger, I don't know if you're gonna find the longest life out of the tread on these Vans. Luckily, I have a horrible brace and I do not really do much, like, I don't know, I guess what I'm trying to say is my rotation on when I throw is kind of weird compared to a lot of people. These shoes tend to last decently long for me. The one thing that I find though is this part right here. I don't even know what it's from, but this has gone out on every pair of these I've ever had. A lot of times what I do is wait for it to go, snip it off with a scissors, and then it kind of never happens again. Like that one spot is gone. Comfort level, these are the comfiest shoes I've ever worn. I have crazy picky feet. My feet will hurt within like minutes of me wearing shoes, and wearing new shoes, like if I'm testing a pair out, and these have just never done that. I can wear these for long days out on the disc golf course. The tread isn't too much to where you feel like your feet are kind of like getting stuck, I guess, which is my least favorite thing. I've had multiple knee surgeries, and so my plant knee is now really weak from overcompensating. And so when I have like traditional trail shoes, a lot of times it's almost too much grip, and I kind of feel it in my hip and my knee. And I feel like this is kind of the perfect in between a trail shoe and kind of something like a Vessi that really has almost no tread at all. I guess while we're on the topic of like the tread of these Vans, I think this is almost like well known at this point. The detriment to Vessis is that they're a very waterproof shoe, but they do not have good grip on wet tee pads, from what I've found. I don't brace well when I throw, which means I don't put a lot of power into my front leg. So I almost never slip. That's why I'm able to play in shoes like these beat up, you know, slip-on Vans that have really no grip at all. Vessis are the only shoe that I'll probably slip once or twice around in them. I think we've also seen that with some of the top pros out on the tour wearing them, is that you're seeing some slips that maybe in a different shoe wouldn't be a thing. So that is an issue that I've run into. I don't know, I guess you can live with it when you're just playing casual disc golf, slipping every once in a while, but it sucks that a shoe that you will be wearing in the rain might not be the grippiest shoe to wear on wet tee pads. And rain and wet tee pads go hand in hand, am I right? The thing I also love a ton about these, but it also might be a bad thing, is these are always on sale. If you look up these shoes, I almost guarantee you can find them anywhere from $40 up to their original price of about $150. Over the last couple of years, I think I've gone through maybe probably 5 or 6 pairs. I have 3 pairs right now. I do have a different pair on right now as we speak, and I've probably paid around 60 bucks a pair. Now what that also means is I think they're probably phasing this style out potentially because, I don't know, I guess they're not popular. As for other ranges, of ultra range, the reason I don't wear those is they have a very, very skinny toe box on them. The newest version of ultra range that has come out has the narrowest toe box I've ever seen. I don't know why Vans does that with like their outdoorsy stylish shoe. You'd think they'd, you know, want to give the feet a little more room to breathe, but that's an issue in a lot of shoes, you know, in the last, I don't know, 5 years. It's just the toe box is getting narrower and narrower. I'm not really sure what else to tell you about these shoes. I got these Vessis all over the last few months. I've been enjoying them, but I do think these 2 pairs of shoes are gonna continue to be my go-to shoes, especially in the spring if it's not raining, the summer, and we'll call it probably in the fall as well. But wet weather, obviously, we're gonna throw on a pair of Vessis. As long as you don't wear size 12 like me, go online, go find yourself a pair of these, because I guarantee you're gonna like them. I've seen a lot of pros start wearing these over the kind of back half of last season really, and I think, you know, it's a good disc golf shoe. I'll probably link all of these down below if you wanna go pick them up. They're not affiliate links, so I do not get anything in return, but I know people maybe wanna go grab a new pair of disc golf shoes. I don't know. That's it, I guess. You know, you'd think this was a Vessi ad the way I'm out here freaking in the rain filming this shit. This is brutal. I thought it was gonna stop, but it's not. I just had to get it done though.